At the microscopic level, the boundary of a cell behaves less like a rigid plastic bag and more like a shimmering liquid. Imagine a surface made of thousands of interlocking pieces, all floating and sliding across one another without ever losing their grip. Scientists call this the fluid mosaic model. This boundary is built from three main ingredients that work together: fats, proteins, and sugar chains. For a cell to stay healthy, these different parts must be able to glide around each other constantly, maintaining a perfect seal while the cell moves. This means the edge of a cell is far more than a simple container. It is an active, shifting boundary that can reshape itself in a heartbeat. The boundary is mostly phospholipids. Each has a water-loving round head and two water-repelling squiggly tails. They form two stacked rows, tucking tails inside. This waterproof sandwich lets inner and outer fluids brush the heads, but blocks the oily center, while molecules constantly slide sideways. This constant motion is what allows the cell to be flexible and resilient while keeping its internal world perfectly contained. But if this boundary is essentially a shifting liquid, what stops it from melting apart when it gets hot or freezing solid in the cold? The cell relies on a stabilizer called cholesterol. These rigid structures act like tiny spacers, wedging themselves into the gaps between the squiggly fat tails. When it's cold, they keep the fats from huddling too close and freezing. When it's hot, they act like anchors, keeping the wall from becoming runny and falling apart. By adjusting to the environment, cholesterol acts as an automatic cellular thermostat, keeping the boundary flexible no matter the temperature. If the fat layer is such a tight, waterproof seal, how does the cell actually bring in the food and nutrients it needs to survive? Some proteins, known as integral proteins, are massive structures reaching entirely through the wall to form permanent tunnels. Acting as security gates, they open only for approved cargo, allowing specific molecules to safely travel into the cell's interior. Other parts, called peripheral proteins, don't cross through the wall at all. They just sit loosely on the surface, either on the inside or the outside. These surface proteins act like messengers or tiny tools, helping the cell finish internal tasks without opening a hole in the main barrier. Working together, these proteins upgrade the cell's edge from a blind wall into a highly controlled gateway. But the cell still needs to interact with its neighbors. How does it recognize a friendly cell or spot a dangerous invader? To communicate, the cell uses branching sugar chains that sprout outward from the exterior surface. These branches function like cellular name tags or ID badges. They give every cell a unique signature that other cells can read. Without these ID tags, your immune system would be blind, unable to tell the difference between a healthy part of your body and a dangerous germ. When we look at everything at once, we see a perfect harmony: shifting fats, stabilizing cholesterol, protein tunnels, and sugar ID tags all working together they are and where they belong. While that's happening, the fat layer is bouncing away toxins, and protein gates are selectively pulling in the fuel the cell needs to keep running. There are trillions of these shifting liquid boundaries inside you right now, each one performing this complex dance to keep you alive. The cell membrane is more than just a wrapper. It is the ultimate living border control, a dynamic, intelligent guardian that makes all life possible.